I just give everyone a tour. So, welcome to Gardin. If you haven't been here before, this is episode 15. We're doing worms today, but I just want to give you a quick walk around. We've got a really cool new set today that, thanks to Patrick holding the camera, and Andrew and John and Chris, we are gonna light it up tonight. So, doesn't this look beautiful? Now I gotta ask you something. What do you know about worms? Because I've had a lot of worm bins over the last 20 years.
I don't know if I'm getting any.
And I've never felt like I had it perfectly dialed. And so I asked JT to teach me how do we do worms?
How do we do worms?
How professional does this place look now?
Looks legit.
What am I supposed to sit here?
No.
Every time. Okay. Every time. So,
But yeah, check out the new set.
Yeah. Looks pretty dope.
is the music still playing?
No.
Does everyone want to introduce themselves? Can we start off by doing that? Should we do that? Or what do you guys think? Andrew, you are... And by the way, do you want me to show you how to pull up like a little screen so you can see yourself or anything? Or...
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right,
cool.
cool.
We're rocking and rolling.
So, should we just jump right in, I guess? Or how do we want to do this tonight?
Yeah.
Let's jump in.
Yeah, I'm excited about this because worms, they're a key part of the ecosystem, and I have no idea what they do.
You know, I will say that is true, and yet, every single time we make any sort of content that gets more than like 10 views on worms, we'll get a comment about, have you let everyone know that they're invasive species? And I actually did make a short. Do you know how many worms were in our soils in North America 1,000 years ago? How many species of worms?
Oh no.
Earthworms. I'm talking about redworms. I'm not talking about like
Nematodes.
but
Zero. It's gotta be
Yeah.
zero. It's zero. This is mind-boggling. There were no worms.
This was on
An earlier podcast, okay? This is on an earlier episode.
Yeah, this is a
that exact
This
question.
is a review. Oh, by the way, feel free. You know how to do the comment stuff. Feel free to. Yeah, cool.
And now North America's popping.
Mm-hmm. Now we're popping, but a lot of people are like, you gotta be careful. You shouldn't be promoting worm composting. But the way I look at it is, they're here.
Well,
We're not changing it. We're
when
not.
you talk about an invasive species, like one of the biggest things you have to look at is like how is it actually affecting the ecosystem? And if it is a net benefit for the ecosystem, then it's like a little bit difficult to throw that label on it. And I guess my follow-up question is like, what was doing the job of worms before there were worms here?
Nematodes, bugs. Hey, look, we've changed it. But the reality is, the Earth is extremely. It's different.
It's becoming more homogeneous.
There is
Travel too far.
Yeah.
Like my favorite example is the Old West. In the movies, you see tumbleweed rolling through town. Tumbleweed didn't come here until I think it was the 20th century. So Old West didn't have that going through it. Like, now it's like see it everywhere.
Yeah,
Look at your sauce and probably float by.
that's just our viewer count.
Get it? Get it? We should. Oh, that would be
Yeah,
a sick
yeah,
video effect. When things get boring, you know, tumbleweed died. If someone complains from the audience, I love that. That'll be like you're the old man on stage.
You got the goose egg.
If I was a worm,
The tumbleweed, true thing.
would I still be cold?
Patrick, can we show them your worm outfit?
My worm?
Everyone, you three are like not on. I know some have, and we won't mention any names. People who do not.
Just felt like an earthworm when I wore this today.
He looks awesome. Look at the shoes. The shoes are sick.
And look at the durability of the tread too. These are good hikers. Like that's the last I can step on. I can step on some rail.
Show that thing. Who makes
These
that?
are Keens, baby. As durable soul.
Oh,
Now let's get guys.
He's the only guy.
If it was able to focus,
Product placement.
You know what's sick? I'm repping a shirt for a company that doesn't exist. So this is old. Yeah, so can we make a worm bin? So I messed up some worm bins. I feel like the first time it's been in oranges.
So worm bins for your garden.
Yeah.
Can we talk about why you might want to make a worm bin?
So what is the whole?
why do you want a bin for worm? But I'm sure there's a good reason.
Yeah. So you can compost, right? You could throw
should bring the camera up here. Check this out. We could throw
About a bunch of old grass clippings and other like food scraps and whatnot, and they'd compost down into a black pile. Along the way, they would get hot, and the microbes in there break it down in a different manner that a lot of the nitrogen's lost, less enzymes are created to break it down. So what you get when you compost with worms is different, right, JT? Is that fair? Like particularly
yeah.
nitrogen, right, is retained pretty well.
Yeah, it's pretty good at retaining nutrients. Like when you just hot compost, the sort of moth gases as ammonia.
Yep.
And then with the worms, they're eating it. They're just sort of being solid until I guess if you mix it with more air and stuff, it can have it happen where moth gases. But they're sort of retaining all of the nutrients in that food.
Yep.
Or black.
What else gets added to wine casting besides?
Microbes, gut microbes, the enzymes, you know, breaking the stuff down. You know, you mentioned before how your hands kind of feel like chapped after.
I will work like if I work with worms, it feels like my hands look like I was doing like something that's like pretty intense, like huge stuff. Like they're like cut, like they start peeling and cracking, and I assume it's the enzymes just breaking down the skin.
So the worms actually like express enzymes into their environment. That's how they go about their business. Is that?
The worms are kind of like these weird. They're basically like little bulldozers. They're like machines for microbes, and they like push through, and their guts are just filled with microbes. Thanks, Dave. All right, totally wrong.
So they're more to the digestion happens externally.
Well, they can digest some pretty part of things. Yeah, I mean, I don't have pretty complex, but
And I think they work together with the microbes. They sort of ingest them, yeah, but like they wouldn't be able to break down the foods and stuff we put in there. They didn't have some good enzymes and the microbes helping them make it more soft.
Yeah, they're like a facilitator of like a really good microbial compost.
What I think
Ultimately, like that. Well, I mean, they're like farmers. They're little tracks.
perpetual tilling is also, I think, one of the probably the biggest benefits, because if you have something that has like no larger creatures inside of it, that's just going to like statically break down. It's going to slow down. You're going to get less oxygenation. You know, like you end up with like dead spots, like the anaerobic bacteria spots. So by using worms, you have this like movement within the soil, which is extremely beneficial.
Pulling things from the top down into the deeper into the earth, and then also making like tunnels or air pockets.
Yeah.
That is a good point, though. Like their reduction in like ultimately anaerobic environments. People that got a hot composting pile, they can get compressed and
And think about what's in anaerobic environments. You get alcohols and all these other like things that break it down, and that's not really necessarily good for plants. It's not either be more acidic and more toxic to them if it's anaerobic. It's true. Where it has the air that breaks down into things that they're able to absorb. It's not gonna burn their roots.
Oxygenation tends to diffuse chemical processes that happen.
And the holes where they dig through is probably easier for the roots to just find that hole and go down rather than force its way into the dirt.
That's
So in my head, like that's when I think worms, I'm thinking that's like my reason that I would want in the soil. I don't very little. I just
well, so the worm you want in your garden is one that so want in your garden. The worms you got here, which are probably really upset right now.
yeah, they're balling up. They're doing the
balling up.
balling behavior.
It was so the first time I ever learned about the balling up behavior being a bad thing.
Yeah.
I remember I was looking at I set up a worm bin at the Wild Life and Greg Mars, Dr. Burns, amazing guy. Came over and I was like, look, I think he's like, I think they're really upset and dying.
Can we get a shot of the worm ball?
So if your worms start balling up like this,
Yeah, so you remember earlier they were kind of like spread out initially. They were exploring and they kind of realized that this is the environment.
Working.
So this is the behavior that ends up happening.
And I think they're trying to like retain moisture and like hold together because it feels nice there.
Protective mode, you know?
Yeah.
oh,
So this is a sign of stress. This is
Yeah,
this
these
is
are
When they ball up like that, it means you're screwing something up, like you put too much citrus in. And so these worms are composting worms. These are red wigglers. The other type I've got over here, I can show you guys,
Specifically
are
for
primarily
compost.
European night crawlers. They tend to coexist, and they'll sit right at the surface. They're breaking down organic matter. They're exploding in populations when there's tons of organic matter concentrated in one spot. The worms you have in your garden, you know, they're earthworms, like European night crawlers. American night crawlers. What other species? Not American night crawlers. There's no American night crawler.
Now there is.
Now there
only in
is.
comics.
Now.
What are the blue ones? That's hard to tell from the.
Oh, the blue. Jeez, I should have gotten my old slides together. Yes. I've never seen. Yeah. The gray worms, gray earthworms. And basically, the real night crawlers, those big guys, the Canadian night crawlers. I'm sorry, Canada already laid claim to that. Those guys go like 6 feet deep. Like they really burrow deep, and they depend on that. So you can't even have them in a compost bin.
It's uncontainable.
Yeah, they're uncontainable.
Yeah.
And then there's others like the European night crawlers kind of go deep. They need some depth to them, but these guys sit at the surface and basically just explosive populations where there's big piles of compost, and then I think they recede. It's interesting how, like, I wonder how they exist in their natural environment. Are they like eaten and then spread? Like, how do they evolve? Because they seem to really like thrive in like continuous high amounts of organic matter. You know what?
Manure piles.
Manure piles. It's a human thing. They're human. They're very human centric.
Yeah.
You know, they seem.
About them eating people and stuff when you die.
Do you guys want to see the European? I'm sorry. Which ones do we have over here? Not European. Indian blues.
Indian blues.
Yeah. You want to see some Indian blue crawlers? Check this out. So I just actually compressed this over here. Whoa. So this might sound strange, but I'm actually intentionally trying to increase the number of flies in here. Now that sounds really weird, right? Why would I do that? Well, I'll tell you why. For 2 reasons. There's some things I care about in this place. One is my pitcher plant over there. It has not been blooming since I've done a better job of controlling flies. The other thing, we just hatched some praying mantis babies. Praying mantids. And so I'm actually curious. I bet you will find some to look around, but I want to make sure there's some food for them. So I'm intentionally encouraging some fly activity here. But right here, I started compiling. Sorry, bud. Check this out. Let's look at this. So I just put this all together. Look at these. Put that one. That's not good. Smells great. Smells so good. Let's get that. So I think this one, right? If you see some with the little yellow tail, that
you can leave that.
is no regulators.
That'll be the table mic. That'll be a solo mic. But that, I don't have anything popping up.
Okay, it mixes itself over there. They both come in as one.
The one downside to these guys, they seem to work almost. But if a storm comes, they will start jumping ship and they'll start crawling out ready for the hills. It's like a little problematic with stuff pouring out your bin. But honestly, I have not seen much of that. So that's the big complaint.
So something that happened, we'll talk about it a bit. We're gonna make our own compost bin. That's pretty easy to keep in your house. I have one in my basement.
Oh wait, we should keep this.
Oh yeah. So we'll make the composting bin, and the thing that we're trying to do is we're going to turn some food scraps into fertilizer, basically. They break down the food scraps pretty quickly, and let's go get started.
Hey, while you guys get started, do you mind if I wash my hand?
Sure.
I'm just for everyone else's sake.
How dare
So
you?
I can eat Cheetos. How dare you?
So we got some buckets here. So one of the things that happens if you put too much organic matter into your worm bin, it starts to like get soggy and they can't really breathe very well and they'll start crawling up the sides. So 2 ways to prevent that. We have a top here, so when they try to crawl out, they won't like crawl out dry up on the ground. But also we're gonna make a double bucket system so that we're gonna drill some holes so that the extra moisture will drip through and fall out, and it won't be enough to like drown them or cause too much stress for them. So let's get started, Matt.
Cool.
Which bucket do you want on the outside? Let's do this one on the inside. So we're gonna drill some holes. Want to do like a few around the base and then a couple maybe down towards the bottom.
Sure. What do you think?
Maybe like 5, 6.
Sweet. I don't see that.
So these two buckets, they're going to sit together pretty tightly. I know, there's typically drainage pans for plants. Is there any issue with like not aerating the water that ends up sitting between the two buckets?
Not really. I mean, it would be ideal to aerate it, but probably you're just gonna dump it to whatever plant or planter
True.
before it gets too deep, so it won't be like sitting for too long.
Sit around the sides?
Yeah, a couple. And
Yeah,
so
like low? Too low? Too high?
that's perfect.
Okay.
So having some air holes around the sides is gonna allow more air to get into the soil, as well as while it's draining, you'll have more. There'll be less of a vacuum like underneath, under the dirt.
Help you get the bucket in and out. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe like putting a couple near the top would help with that.
Yeah. Okay. So I brought some other stuff.
Oh, wait, we should bring them up.
Yeah. Nice.
So if you want to have this sitting up a little bit higher, you can add a spigot, have it stick out the side so you can drain the water out. But want to get some dirt in there and get it started?
Yes. What should I do?
Let's dump some dirt.
All right, let's do this. Was this from out back?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, where'd you get the dirt? Where does the dirt come from?
Wait, do you want to show them your dirt?
Yeah, so you want to see, this is like our old longest standing worm bin of all time. And I think I'm going to bring it to my yard this year.
Oh yeah.
Just because it seems like it's like basically a giant, it's actually full up of pretty much beautiful worm nests.
Not getting any audio. Still the same bill. Somebody share. You want to run with that? No.
One of those, I don't know, Matt did that switch truck.
So look at this. We've been doing this for a long time, and what I've been doing, it really does.
So back from episode 1,
We added lime.
it was really intense. There was an odor.
There was a bad
This
odor,
feels like it's doing a lot better. Like the
yes.
soil's much more loose now. This looks great.
right?
Wow. See, I feel like that pocket that we uncovered from the prior one is exactly what we were talking about earlier, where there's not enough mixture of the soil.
Yeah,
And I
and
think
look.
that's why it ended up having that pocket.
There's that smell you're looking for, though.
So that's what's happening in the buckets,
It's not as
or
Whew.
what we're trying to avoid with drilling the holes there. Oh yeah,
Nope, there it is. There she is.
there's the smell.
There were some old eggs in there at one point.
And so having the
But there's some
moisture
worms.
sit at the bottom there is gonna make it stagnate.
You know what? I'm not washing my hands again. It's just going to be how it is. It's the worm episode, right, guys?
It reminds me of a very distinct smell when I was down in the Keys with the sargassum producers. It's almost like oddly similar, so I'd be interested to know if they.
It has like a sulfury fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something to avoid, I would assume.
Yeah, that's not the best smell. It should smell earthy.
But
So towards the top, you can see how many worms there are.
it's definitely not as like awful as episode 1.
But it's not great.
It's not great.
There's no drainage on this, and that's a problem.
That's the issue. Okay.
The best I've ever seen worms do was I had this, literally I set a table like this up with water where I would have like a bucket below, a big reservoir below, and I would recycle water. It was on flood and drain, and I would just pour water on top of them almost on a daily basis. They exploded. They like tons of water, moisture, and organic matter moving through. But when it starts just sitting, I think they struggle.
Yeah.
So probably like outside, if I have a wiggler pile, you almost want to keep it wet, but you also want to you want to keep it elevated almost.
Have enough that it can drain the water.
It needs to drain out. They're not like, you want to smell something real bad?
Not particularly, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
What's going on? Why are they at the top like this? What did I do wrong? Uh-oh.
Oh.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
What
it's
happened?
they just climbed up.
Shoot, but why are they, JT?
Why are they sad, JT? Why are they sad?
Why are
They're
they?
sad because they couldn't get back down.
So these guys are eating a dead crawfish? Are they alive still? How'd they get, wow.
Oh, they got trapped.
Well, this
see.
was for a
It's like-
couple weeks from now, so are they alive?
Yeah, it was the 2 layers.
Yeah.
Barely. All right, you guys want to go home, trust me.
There's a
So-
bunch down there still.
These guys live in absolute muck, and that's
These
what they
ones are
want.
Trying to pupate, so they want to become flies soon. See
Oh.
how dark they are and how they're more hard.
Is that why they're trying? Are they trying to get into a dry
Is that like
area?
that's like a
Yeah.
better.
So this was
Oh,
actually
okay.
perfect.
They're
And
gonna be flies soon.
Interesting.
let's put them in a different bin then. Stay tuned for 2 episodes from now.
Look how fat these ones are.
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah.
And that's the worst smell on the planet.
I mean, I was gonna waft, but I don't think I will.
You should,
Should I?
just to know. You might throw
All
up.
right, all right.
You'll never know.
Just huff it.
It's bad.
Check back for the reaction video.
That's the episode. Episode 1 smell.
It's worse.
Oh my god, it's worse. It's worse.
It's the worst smell on earth. It's soldier flies working on dead crawfish with some
How are you not?
smells like
Growth, baby. That's good stuff.
Dude, this
They
is
like
how you
it.
can tell
Smells
they're-
like
they're
potentially
freaking
dead
serious
milk.
because
Look
they
how
don't
big
have
that
the.
one is.
Oh my god.
yeah, that's a thick boy. Look at that thick boy.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Nick. You'll get
No, it's like
eating hot sauce. You just got to build up. You got to start with the earthworm smell, and then you work to soldier. Soldier fly is the equivalent of like ghost pepper.
But no, dude, that was like seriously, I felt it in my soul. Like I inhaled a little bit of that.
It
It's like-
changed you.
have you ever done
You're a
smelling
little.
salts?
You're a little tougher now.
You ever do smelling salts?
No,
Like,
I
yeah.
haven't.
Oh, I got some. I'll bring them over. But it's like you don't experience it as a sensation. You experience it as like a adrenaline rush.
Is that
Weird.
a potato?
Yeah. So that's what I got from that.
Yeah, I threw some potato in there.
There's one like crawling out of the potato.
Sick.
Can you do a live stream on this?
We're doing one in 2 weeks.
I mean, just
People watching that,
yeah, instead of the fish.
just you and me would watch that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be popular. But I'd do it. Let's do that.
get so many
I'm
watch
You
hours
know what?
from
It doesn't
me.
matter. That's not why we do that. Plus, it doesn't cost anything. It's just YouTube's data.
You get so many watch hours.
It's the bits are.
YouTube's like, we got to shut you guys down. You've like taken up an inordinate amount of storage on soldier fly larvae. It's
We've got a very strict. Right
we're spending over $1,000 a year.
I can see where they crawled in. Like up the side right there.
Okay, nice. They snuck. That's.
I told you about my soldier fly tank, right?
No, should we bring it back?
Yeah.
What happened to Commander?
He's probably
He's throwing up.
or whatever.
He's being smart.
Yeah.
I had an aquarium that. Hi, mom. So I had an aquarium that had a glass top
JT's mom.
and soldier flies that I was growing in it, but they can climb up the glass and they snuck out the top. And then I also have a shag carpet, so they moved into the shag carpet and became flies. But my frog really liked them, so I would catch the flies and feed them to the frog.
and that's why JT's mom shouldn't be upset.
No, yeah, she doesn't even live there.
She doesn't even live there. But was this when you lived at your mom? with your
No,
mom?
that was at my house.
Okay, cool.
I rent from them though.
Yeah, I mean, they are your landlords, though.
New carpet concept.
But there's no more soldier flies. They're gone.
In the shag carpets,
Yeah.
currently, that we know.
Yeah.
Because the shag carpet's gone.
No, the shag carpet's still there.
Oh, what bugs live in there now?
Mealworms.
Cool. I figured.
You need a lizard.
We should do an episode.
I have a
of
lizard.
JT's
I
house.
have 2 lizards.
Dude, he's an incredible opossum rehabber. Do you have any opossums right now?
No,
Next time you get some opossums, we should do an episode on opossums.
I didn't get my license.
Oh, really? Why not?
I don't have time for. I only had time for like one possum.
That one possum needed.
They only come in like groups of 6.
Yeah, there's so many rehabbers now too. It's not like it's like it used to be where
Yeah.
I feel like you were one of the
The
early ones.
original OG.
Yeah,
possum
like I
rehabber.
feel like that world's blown up, right? I mean, it seems like a lot more people.
A
are
lot of people really like possums now, is what it is.
That's cool.
They're adorable.
Yeah,
Possums are cool.
they're the next capybara.
Yeah.
All right, so what do we do with these guys? All of us have severe ADHD, so I don't know how we want to background soldier flies. Hopefully the audience shows that sort of, that's interesting, a fly, look. I was joking, JT, I was making fun of.
Oh.
Sorry. Hey, you want to see the fish
I
tank?
got distracted because I thought there was a fly.
Okay, I will tell you at one point, and I don't even know where, I think they came from, actually, can we quickly look in the greenhouse? There were soldier fly larvae crawling across. It's interesting. I bet you they do it right before they pupate, huh?
Yeah, that's what they do.
That makes me feel so much. Oh, so I was taking them and putting them back into really wet environments. They were crawling everywhere throughout this warehouse. I don't know where they came from because we haven't like bought soldier fly larvae in 3 years. So there's a population here that exploded, and then the flies started showing up.
Yeah, so they crawl out to try to get to the dry area when they're pupa, and then they'll emerge as flies. But I don't think tossing them in the wet them. I think they're just like, yeah.
You could do the volume, you could lower the volume on it.
And are there any here?
I don't know if it's
adults?
Yeah, so it's like,
All right.
well, you
Oh, have any of my seedlings sprouted?
And we have one hive. For the second we turn that one on.
Yeah, let's put those guys in here. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
JT's and that.
They used to pop the cream. I don't know if they
No, they usually pop in like spring, right?
I had one stack go already, so
Oh,
last
wow.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, first time.
Good for you.
Yeah, man, it was literally 2 minutes before. Yeah, they're killer. Industry standard. They're really.
think this
See the charging base? It's like this little sexy little thing? Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty nice.
I wonder if there's like evolution occurring in this place.
There's not enough radiation.
We'll change that.
Well, no, I mean,
Well, there is.
So you
There
have
is.
2 translators.
Oh yeah, the X-ray.
Yeah, we just need to get an old used X-ray
You
machine.
don't need that.
Go this way and come around.
For each, yeah.
Check it out. Speaking of ADHD, my own CalMag. Seems to be working well, but I do want to talk at some point about chelates in here.
Okay.
If anyone out there,
Chelates,
wondering
and then the
more.
humic acid right there. That's good at chelating.
yeah, that's a good point. Chelates.
Chelates. And that's how you fix lead poisoning.
What?
Yeah.
Because what? It just locks to it?
Yeah, it's chelated calcium, which doesn't lock as well as the lead locks to the chelate. So that pulls the lead out of your bones.
Cool. Hey.
Oh,
Cool. Sit back down. All right, let's build.
yeah.
Oh, wait. Should we be over here?
Yes, the build, yeah, we're doing the building.
Why'd I go over here?
Patrick, bad call.
Patrick's right here. He told me to go back here, isn't? Dude, I want you to be in this show, man. He's a grower and a character and a personality. As Andrew, the dude running cameras, is one of the best growers I know. We should be having you talk on this show. You should not just be running camera.
We'll talk. We'll make it happen.
He's a professional. Can I bug you? Tell everyone what you do. Let's put him on camera. Come on.
In the cannabis industry, tip to tail, anything from seed to sale. 1,000 acres south in the middle of California. Done, man, 1,200 plants hydroponically in fully regulated basements. And yeah, just 10 years before it's been legalized in Massachusetts. I've been grinding, trying to make sure that this plant, everybody can get their medicine, and the plant grows great.
And now he is helping small businesses like ours. Most of the other, I didn't realize that until we were talking today. I was like, oh, so normally we should have to pay. That makes sense because he walked in and he was like, so why are you guys running the show in like kind of like the least visually appealing? And like came in and like helped us, basically make the show better. So thank you so much, Andrew. I feel so excited. I was blown away. Like he showed up 2 hours ago and like changed everything for
We
us.
have to keep the hydro stores alive, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you
This
so much.
is a very important part of the world, the infrastructure.
I
the economy.
appreciate it. He's one of those guys who comes in and it's like, wait, can I pick your brain a little more about something before you leave, man? I've got some questions about growing. So, anyways, thank you. Thank you guys, all 3 of you. I'll mention, you two because other people don't.
And thanks to Matt, I'm gonna say from behind the camera, but we appreciate the space. It's so cool to meet other individuals and be able to share passions and to share experiences. So this is a great opportunity, man. This is a beautiful place where we're growing Gardin. Thanks, bro.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. All right, let's do this.
So we're gonna put a drainage spigot in.
Cool.
3/4 inch.
Oh, did you get like a grommet? Oh yeah, sick. So the way this is gonna work, guys, if you haven't seen these are awesome. Just gotta pop this grommet in. Is that in there? Cool.
Where's the wallet?
Boom. Wait, can I- and then that goes like that. Boom, just like that, and it'll pop in. That way we can drain as we choose. Although I'm gonna do it this way. I don't think this is technically the front, but I always feel like it should be. I had one tell me it was directional. It had an arrow, but I'm not sure if it matters.
Well, it depends on which way you want to turn it.
Right? Does it matter? I guess if water's pouring that way, and if it's chunky, it's probably better to have it pointing this way because it would like push back if you see the way there's like a ball inside that turns. So I can kind of. So probably with a worm bin, honestly, like you probably want it so the valve on the front turns out because that way it would jam less frequently. I feel like maybe it doesn't matter. You're gonna jam it.
Yeah.
All right.
Which
Well,
way is
I
right?
think you are right though. If you have it open outward, it's less likely to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing the way it's shutting. It's like there's like a ball inside that kind of turns like that. So if it goes like that, it's gonna kind of push stuff out of the way rather than jam it. So yeah, let's get this guy in. And the tighter the better, right?
I think this might be a two-person job.
I'll hold this.
The camera looks amazing, by the way.
Safety squints.
Uh-oh. I gotta
Sick.
make sure I know which one's the right size.
I feel like I need to say some dad comment right now, like,
Oh no, I love the stepping holes.
Hold the flashlight straight.
yeah, or you, no, you can always make the hole bigger, but you can't drill it smaller. That's more what I was about to say, and then I was like, I'm gonna stop myself right now, but then I just said it. I couldn't help it.
That is a good point.
I have 2 kids now, and I'm gonna say stuff like
You are a
that.
dad.
All right,
Oh, nice.
little tight. Let's see, what do you think? Did he nail it? It feels like it needs a little more.
One more step.
Yeah, one more step.
Yeah, dude. Like I have, if you're looking for a really specific diameter, hitting the individual pieces is good. But like those are honestly pretty big.
Right?
I use those for furniture, so if I want to run like USB cable through with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Come on, maybe a little bigger still. I guess that should be good, right? As long as the hole.
Yeah, you just gotta be better at this.
I do have to be better at this. This is.
Oh yeah, it's a 2-person job.
Well, I mean, it's round, right?
This might be really.
struggle is
I don't know
real.
if this is gonna work, because I'm worried. Let's see if the barb now fits. Yeah, that looks a little too tight. Let's find out. Let's try it. Can we get this guy through?
Oh man, you're like your
I
earlier
doubt
comment,
now.
though, right?
No, check this out. I watch this. Barely.
Barely.
So we gotta do it.
You need one more step.
One more step. One step forward. 2 steps forward would be 1 step back, JT. Oh, that.
We would need another bucket.
Yeah, we need a new bucket. How many buckets?
That's looking good.
Hey, Mandy, how many buckets are we gonna go through tonight?
10. How many do we have?
Baker's dozen.
Guesstimates from the comments. Well, that's the only problem with this format, right? Like, I feel like it's harder to get.
Yeah,
to the
baby.
comments,
Oh,
so
wait, it's backwards.
We have to work on that.
And I think we actually straight up need to. Look at
Oh,
that.
that looks great, dude.
Oh yeah, because otherwise the other way it wouldn't work.
Wouldn't work.
Look
Boom.
at that barb.
Now, as much as worms love eating plastic, they don't love eating plastic, so we're going to take that
Oh, they're
off.
not gonna be in there. That's the water part.
Yeah.
No worms.
I know.
If they get down there, they messed up.
Now, isn't the
drown,
bucket
yeah.
just going to sit on the rubber grommet?
It's gonna be a little bit higher, yeah. It's a little bit small. Where's the other bucket?
Huh? Where's the other bucket?
I'll go find it.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Stay here?
Was I holding it when we went to the back?
Could be the other room, yeah.
Right now, we're going to have an intermission from our sponsor, Mandy. Thank you for Chipotle today. She was the provider of Chipotle and
Hey, Sean, what's
coffee.
up?
Yeah, we should say hi to people.
Oh yeah, Sean Ray, Mandy's been giving us feedback.
We don't care
Sean
about
says
it.
garden looks amazing, great work inside, paradise.
Sean, I missed you
Really
today,
appreciate all
but
his hard work, man.
right after you left, we found out that right after you left, Mandy told me you came by. I wish I caught you, but not time, but
Bucket.
acquired.
So do we slide it in here and let it sit on the grommet, or
Yep.
does it? Could it like mess it up? No. Oh, duh. It's sitting above anyways.
Yeah.
Hey, it's got to put holes in the bottom of it so they can crawl through.
Cool.
Wait. Is
All
that,
right.
yeah, that's the one we drilled.
Sweet. Great. This is awesome. What next?
Next, dirt. So they need some bedding to start with,
Okay.
so that they can crawl around.
Wait, should we show them this?
Have a little bit of food.
Yeah, show the layers too.
Wait. Is that? Help?
Yeah. You can grab that.
Maybe we do above. It's pretty dark here, huh? You can't really see the worm.
Oh, there's no worms.
Not yet.
Oh yeah, you gotta.
So what? The soil. Was there any
Oh, yeah,
difference
it's
between
a
those
remote,
two?
Yeah.
The two carafes of soil. Was there any difference?
Sick.
No, they're the same.
All right.
Just dirt.
This smells great. Was this from the bin out back?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
That was off the top.
Okay, so the top of the worm bin smells amazing. That's good. Oh, I got some on the bottom just now in my hand. It smells different. Did you guys see earlier Nick's response to the soldier flies? That was good.
And we're gonna toss these
Oh,
guys
yeah.
in.
No, that was visceral.
This
But no,
one's
I'll
Jeremy.
check this out a little bit. I don't know if I want to touch it necessarily, but I can give it a whiff.
This one's Steven.
Dennis, James, Charles, Linda.
Also Linda. It's weird that we had 2 Lindas.
3 Lindas, actually.
Oh yeah.
I don't-
Hey.
All right, we gotta.
Cheryl, spelled
Yeah.
with an I, and Cheryl spelled with a Y.
So this is the type
Ooh,
of
these are
soil
reds.
scent that I think is palatable. You know.
Wait, what? Those are pocket?
Yeah, they're my pocket worms.
Pocket worms. Shisha.
Yeah.
Pocket worms.
JT's car is possibly the most amazing. You're like, let me just grab that from my car. I should start writing down the things 'cause I can't think of a single one right now. But I've definitely had you say, I'm going to grab that from in my car. I always keep that in my car. It was something numerous. Bird seed,
Cat litter.
cat litter, animal traps.
Oh yeah. Animal cages come in handy.
The standards for what goes in a car are different.
Towel. Oh, the squirrel.
you gotta
the
be
squirrel
prepared.
towel.
Squirrel
And the
towel.
bike gloves.
Oh, the squirrel towel. Yeah, there was a squirrel locked in her dumpster, so my suggestion was just pop the top and run away. But you went in there and got it out.
I climbed in and I caught the squirrel with my towel and my bike gloves.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
He was totally cool with it, right?
That was the same day we drove around and skateboarded on the back of that metal door tied to my truck.
Oh yeah.
Actually, no,
What?
Nothing.
All right.
All right, cool. It shot sparks out. It was cool.
Yeah, it was.
Sick.
That we should make video of. Probably not though.
Okay,
anyways.
so see how the holes are small enough that the dirt won't fall through, the worms probably won't crawl through. Any liquid that's excess for them, like this is the perfect amount of moisture for the soil. Any excess moisture is going to probably trickle down the bottom or evaporate out the top. And then you can open the spigot, which it's open right now, so we want to close it so that it doesn't just leak or dribble out unless you want it to.
Yeah, you could just live mainline it into something.
Dude, I love that idea because like one of the classic things I have an issue with my potted plants is like I'll overwater them and not know it until it's too late, and then like the water just goes everywhere.
Yep.
Having that open and going to something productive.
Yeah, just right over. Yeah. My hands, I need to wash. My hands are feel so dry right now.
And so if we want to make
And yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands off in this plant reservoir.
If we want to make
Right.
worm casting tea, which is good for your plants, you want it fresh, you can also just pour some water in and then catch it immediately.
Oh, kind of like cycling it through. That's a clever idea.
JT, this is sick. Need some more?
It's gonna need some time to kind of like trickle through there.
Yeah, you can't rush this. It's like coffee. You can't rush it.
It's like coffee.
You just gotta wait for it
That
to
is
perk.
like coffee,
So a
bro.
fun connection with this as well, it's very similar to brewing. So you actually continuously take from the bottom of the grain bed when you have your mash, and you pour it back over and sparge it on top, so it filters down to the bottom, recollecting as much as possible. Yeah, in terms of sugars and things like that, extract
Drill.
from the grains.
Bro, let me. Next time you go to talk, can I put the camera on you? Like you're.
Probably not tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, that was sick.
No,
I mean, it's all just the way that life works, I guess. The
Yeah,
microbes in here like it.
recirculation, man.
This is awesome. I didn't know this was what you're gonna do.
It's a message on persistence, right? Just keep doing it over and over again. You'll get better. You'll learn.
You know what? This is cool. You know what I might do with this is like put a fabric pot inside of the plastic, and that way.
That way it'll catch all like the particulates.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah, like a
thing I use in
filter.
my worm bins is like fabric pots are awesome because the water leaks through. But now that I'm thinking about like this is such a great design though, but like I'm realizing more and more as we're doing this, the enemy I struggle with the worm bin like back there is stagnant water. Like you need to drain out. You can't have them sitting in it.
And if you want to go higher, you can also just put like cut like a couple inches of a PVC pipe and just put it in the bottom. That's what I did with mine
Sick.
previously. And that way it sits up a little bit higher. Also, if you put an elbow on the inside, it will be a bottom drain, so it'll create a vacuum and suck all of the water out. So you don't have any, just you know how you sometimes have that, like little inch
Create a siphon.
Yep, exactly. So create a siphon with
That's
the
pretty
elbow.
sick.
If it fits.
I was just thinking, so regarding the filtration,
Yeah.
so with this setup, I feel like you would need that less because you can always just pull, like before you re-water the thing, if it's looking a little dry, just pull up your top, rinse out your bottom bucket,
Yep.
and that way you should be able to get rid of all those organics that are going to cause problems if they spend all their time soaked completely.
Yeah.
You know?
You're so right, man. Yes. And this would be good for you. You're a fish guy, right? Like when I was feeding these guys red wigglers in particular, like their health was the best.
Yeah, it brings out the colors, right? Having
they
the
pop- they're-
organic food.
I think they're red. Yeah, they're really like there's some meat in those, and that's really good. They seem to really do well when I'm feeding those. They love bloodworms and stuff, but bloodworms aren't.
Well, it's
There's
freeze dried.
bloodworms.
There's like, you know, sold in cubes, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Now, could you ever blackworms? Could you ever compost with those things?
They're good for your aquarium filters because they'll break down the like waste that's more solid, break it into more soluble stuff into smaller particles.
Interesting.
Interesting. One of the biggest struggles I've had with worm bins, right? It feels like I've had this happen over times where I'm doing great, the population starts exploding, and it's like I can't keep up with feeding, I think. And how do you know when to feed and when not to feed, right? Like that's something I think I struggle with. The population start growing and then it implodes on me.
I think
I tend to underfeed when the population grows.
so. Yeah, if you think about an ecosystem, if you just have a one-way chain, it's always going to have that bottom of the food chain, or it should be, or the top of the food chain is going to overpopulate. So if you have like a bunch of rabbits, nothing to eat the rabbits, they're going to be rabbits everywhere. They're going to eat all the food, and then there's going to be a crash because there's not enough food. There's only a certain amount.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not feeding any rabbits, and I need to keep up with it.
You got to keep, either you keep up with it at the same pace that you're always going, and the population will stay stagnant or you need to be removing the worms to feed to your fish.
So just a thought on that, right? So everything is
Constantly increasing the size of your bucket.
everything is going to have like a certain schedule for how quickly the food metabolizes into growth. So if you're having an issue with like explosions and crashings, then like smaller amounts of feeding over like a shorter time frame will help even out that stability.
That's totally, yeah.
So the one I have at home, I basically just put a little bit of food in, maybe once a week.
What would you feed them? Like if you were like to try to give them like a perfect diet, right? Let's say me or Nick, right? Like with your cichlids, this is what I was mentioning. Like not a bad idea. And you're a gardener too. Putting something like this in your home. What do you feed them, right? Like because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I like eating. There's not a lot of scraps sometimes.
Yeah.
And in my household, it's like the scraps get divvied up. It's like greens go to the guinea pigs. Like everything goes to the chickens. Meat goes to the dogs. You know, like.
Yep.
What do I feed the worms in particular? What's like a perfect diet for these guys? Because I think that's another thing that, especially when first getting started, I've learned to be really cautious about certain things. Like don't feed them citrus. They like eggshells. Grass clippings. Like what's the perfect diet?
Try to keep the pH pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Like what food? Give me like 10 items.
10 items?
What are the top 10 JT feeds?
Avocado.
Avocado.
Whole avocado?
They love
Toast?
avocados.
No waste.
Okay, fair enough.
There was a guy, literally, I one time saw a video related to this, where he was like, you guys want to save money? Take an organic avocado, slice it in half, put it in your worm bin. I was like, and you'll make your own worm compost. I'm like, avocados cost like $4.
Yeah. Avocado, just
The
like
pits?
the pits, they love the pits.
Yeah.
You cut that in half, it'll be
Yeah,
easy for them to eat.
Once that thing starts sprouting.
Yeah. And like, you get the stuff that's hard to get off, like the skin from that.
Yep.
Banana, you want to rinse that off though, because sometimes they have pesticides on the outside, so you gotta clean that. Just I do.
That's a significant issue for this, hey?
Yeah.
what's
What's that?
I bet if you're just coming into the hobby new, that's probably something that doesn't quite click because it's not like pesticides, generally speaking, tested against beings of our size, but like literally they're chemicals designed to kill
Bugs.
this.
Yeah.
So
And they bioaccumulate some of them, so you don't want to have that going up into your fish, feeding your fish a
Yeah.
whole bunch of pesticide-laced worms, and then you wonder why your fish are dying.
So we got coffee grounds, avocado, banana, apples,
Apple peels, apple cores.
any greens, right? Greens are great. Like what proportion of anything? Like could you feed them all bananas? Could you feed them all greens? Could you feed them all coffee grounds?
You could.
It's not gonna go well.
I think variety is good because they won't, like, think about it. Anything probably needs a balanced diet to have a mix of different nutrients, where if you're just eating the one thing, there might be a deficiency somewhere.
I found personally too, like paper and cardboard or leaf matter,
And that's another,
like like about half of it should be that.
yeah, so if you think about the compost ratios, you probably want, what is it, like 3 to 1 cardboard, papery stuff to vegetable matter.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, just give them some paper shreds.
I remember I got a dedicated commercial shredder for cardboard. It was awesome. That's when it was really crushing. It was ripped up cardboard.
Yeah.
They seem to really do well with that. Like no plastic on it, obviously. Just
Yeah.
like straight cardboard.
that's what I had no idea that there were like nutrients available in cardboard that worms would be interested in.
It like balances things off. It like gives them
Like a buffer.
the organic matter,
Yeah.
right?
It
Because it's
helps
almost like
absorb the moisture a little bit too.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Well, I was thinking about
it's almost too rich sometimes for them.
things like meat, for example.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you're talking about like mono foods, and
Yeah.
I'm not like a meat diet kind of guy, but
Still good, still good, still
still
good.
good, still good.
Still good.
But
Thanks Best Buy Tech Protection Plan.
if you look at something that is able to interact within a variety of environments, so like I think this is another component to like worms versus plants and animals, right? So a plant is going to have to sit there, and the idea is it expands into environments that suit it, whereas an animal will migrate to environments that suit it. So you have like sort of a layer of you are removed from this idea of concentration within your ecosphere.
Yep.
Where so something like, I guess what I'm getting at is, vegan is optimal, but I think you get a lot of nutrients from meat where it's just easy. You can do a single source. You got all your bases covered because you're consuming something that has a certain amount of agency. I mean, we can get into details there, but I don't want to go into farming techniques and
The
whatnot.
meat, I think you gotta be careful. Meat smells terrible typically.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna
Us
attract
eating it.
pests. Oh.
Well,
Oh, okay.
so I guess my point is it's sort of
Let's stay on worms though.
it's an analogy, right? So like I don't know if there is anything that fulfills that type of niche for worms,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
or are they actually? I mean, because they do they biodegrade us. We all end up consumed by the bugs anyway.
Yeah.
So there sounds like a certain amount. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to feed them.
I think they can eat meat, but the problem is the smell
Yeah.
and the pests that might come along with it. And some of the bacteria grows on meat isn't the best to like touch with if you're touching the compost or feed your fish.
Well, so that's actually kind of also where I'm going with that is so a lot of my experience personally has to do more with fish versus garden related
Yeah.
things. So when Matt was talking about doing worm feed for fish,
Yep.
like there you go, fairly diverse diet right there on its own.
Yep.
And most fish food is made of other fish.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of how that
Shrimp,
Yeah.
yeast.
fish love fish.
Yeah.
You feed. I've tried. They do love. It's fine. They do well with meat and stuff. It's just so problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I think we buried some fish and the worms were going crazy.
Until Sonny dug up. Oh,
Ah.
back, yeah. Remember someone
Yeah.
gave me like a big like striped bass they had like cleaned out and was like 34 and buried in the yard, and worms were going after it, and somebody dug it up like a weekend.
Probably brings it into the house. Here you go.
I was like, oh god,
I
look out
found
my
this
window.
for
I was
you.
like, that is, I've got to go rebury that
Yeah.
deeper.
Deeper.
Yeah. So, but giving them a varied diet will make them healthier to feed your stuff. It'll also, depending on what you feed, will probably affect the nutrients available in the worm castings and the worm tea.
So what would the simplest way, like what's the simplest diet you can think of to be like, here's a formula to keep your worms? Because I think that's something I haven't seen, right? Like, and I think that's the tricky part, because like I've gotten like I've screwed it up enough to be able to gauge whether things are going well or not. Look at what the worms are up to. If you see them falling, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you don't see them moving vigorously and growing in different life stages, you're probably in a bad spot.
And that smell was a problem, right?
So-
That's actually tough because I don't know, for the soldier flies, it seems like it's apparently good for
Well,
them.
so
but
that
for the
environment
worms,
was
not so
so
much.
big, right? Luckily that they have space to move into a spot where they're happy, right? But you might notice where it smelled.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
start getting into that, there weren't worms living there. But interestingly enough, they were right before that.
Right, I
They
can
want
see
to
that.
sit like right outside that anaerobic environment almost.
Yeah,
Huh.
and you'll see.
Which is why this works so well, because the water's draining out, but it's like maximum water to drainage. Yes.
Yeah. Full saturation.
Yes.
You'll see them start climbing up the sides if they're not happy. If it's like the soil gets to like the wrong pH or like too moist, they'll crawl up the sides. And that's why we have this. You can do a lid with some holes in it, just something to make sure that they don't
Yeah.
escape.
No, I thought this was really good because essentially they're looking for an isolated space that they can rest on. So like climbing a vertical wall, that's intense, that's precarious. They don't want to stay on a vertical wall. They're looking for something that's going to be
So
horizontal.
this is going to prevent
and
them
clear.
from going further, but allow aeration, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give them a break, you know. Give them a rest up
And
there.
if they're
They
climbing
do
out,
seem to
something's
dig
wrong.
right. Yeah.
Right.
If they're climbing up, they do seem to like to climb, explore. I'm sure they're just looking for new territory too. Sometimes.
Always.
New food, new
But the
territory.
proportion of them that are crawling out is the question sometimes. It's like if 1% of them's on the roof, that's cool, but if it's like 80%, you're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Can you really attribute looking for more territory to something like a worm that doesn't really have a
Oh, yeah.
functioning brain?
For sure, you think about
Totally
like
aggressive.
from an evolutionary perspective, right? These guys they're interesting. It was like I was saying earlier, like the interesting thing about like how do they survive is they definitely are focused on breaking down concentrations of organic matter. And when does that happen? I guess floodplains maybe?
That makes sense, yeah.
Like because it kind of piles up along the river in certain spots. And maybe they travel along, but like they do. I think that they do venture out on occasion, you know. And that's, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, territorial. Maybe not territory. I don't think they defend the territory.
But
Do worms have territories, people?
We want.
I see. I don't think
the
they
most
have that
aggressive
higher
worms.
function, but they have the instinct. Like they're basically like hardwired to just go.
Yeah.
Go eat,
Um,
chill.
Yeah, exactly.
So what, if you were to give like an easy, here's what you do to keep this thing going, so you have worms. What would the weekly schedule be?
Weekly schedule. Once a week. Put a little tiny bit, maybe like half a cup, quarter a cup of just scraps, table scraps of veggies, fruits, stuff like that.
Now, what if you've like cooked them with some salt?
Cooked with salt is not a great idea. So you see how like slimy worms look? Their whole outside is a mucous membrane.
Mm-hmm.
So picture the way that salt feels on your mouth or in your eye.
Delicious and great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing as snails, like.
Yeah, it dries them
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Try
So,
them
yeah,
out.
just so no salt.
Yeah, try to avoid it. You can rinse it off.
So basically, if you had vegetables spoil in your refrigerator because you didn't want to eat them,
Yep.
that'd
Because
be
you
the
bought that
best.
avocado with the intention to make avocado toast,
Yeah,
but just didn't.
just didn't. Or you thought it was not ready yet. But anyways, okay, so some, you know, like I've got for the mealworms, I've got like a nice recipe. It's like rolled oats and carrots once a week probably, right? Like for these guys, you just throw something in here that was like even store-bought. Maybe like chicken, honestly, like that chicken pellet feed
Yeah.
seemed to be awesome. I soaked it in water.
It soaks up water, yeah, exactly.
And they seem to want calcium.
Yep.
You know, maybe I'll just see what happens if I feed these
It'll
guys
keep the pH neutral probably.
just chicken feed.
And then
That'll be some really nice worm castings too, because it'd be really high in calcium. My layers.
And then
mix.
I would just check, give it a peek to see how much water's in the bottom.
Oh, that and cardboard.
If there's
Oh,
water in the bottom,
yeah.
I would just drain it out, or you just make sure it's not like.
Should we look at this under the microscope?
Do you wanna?
I mean, does the JT live stream at Gardin every week?
Yes.
There we go.
Bear shit in the woods.
That was.
YouTube. Uh-oh.
Do we want to look at the liquid or the solid?
No, it's cool. As long as my goal is to make this so it's okay. I like the general thought is it should be like it's more adults watching this. Like,
Ready?
but if your kids walk by, they just think it's boring.
Oh
yeah!
Wow, look at that.
Now if we get 100,
Oh yeah.
if we get 100 viewers, I'll drink this whole
100
thing.
viewers, Matt's gonna drink it.
That would actually, I probably wouldn't. I'd back out. That would probably kill you.
Matt, I've seen you consume some pretty terrible things in your day.
100 viewers on the.
He was thinking about the mealworm thing. That was right on the edge.
Oh yeah, you ate
I didn't eat it.
grass.
You did?
Off
camera.
video, off camera. The audience hasn't earned it.
Yeah. Well, he was hungry.
I was hungry.
Let's make
Pocket
a
worms.
microscope slide. Oh yeah.
I said 15 subs or whatever. I don't care. I'll eat one of them. They're honestly, mealworms are supposed to be one of the highest value protein sources. Oh, this feels comfortable. Back in our old.
The old set.
What?
You left your vape.
It's not a vape. What are these kids messing with nowadays?
Is this like a light meter or audio meter? What is
The
this?
CO2 meter, isn't it? Carbon dioxide?
Yeah, something you want to trade off?
Oh yes. Wait. You know what, dude? I'm taking count. Here, put this on, bud.
Thanks, Sid.
I legit do not
Do
know
we have
how to.
any comments?
Oh, okay, I got it.
Oh yeah, where are we gonna look at this?
So
we probably have to go over
this device right here, I'm going to turn on. It's something I use professionally. This is a courtesy loan from Bentwater Brewing in Lynn, Massachusetts. This is a device that tests CO2, oxygen levels, as well as just particulate matter in the air. And so we would use this. It's funny, we were joking. It's kind of like the canary in the coal mine. If we have to enter a tank, say some of our hardware isn't working, and we need to access it or fix something inside of the tank, rule states that we have to make sure that it's at safe levels, so there's no CO2, there's no other nitrogen or different gases which could eventually and effectually hurt yourself, right? The lack of oxygen in the brain isn't a good thing. Who would have known, right?
Yeah.
So this is really cool, and I asked if I could borrow this just to test some of the things, because last week on the episode, we did the lung tent with the mushrooms to give those citrus trees a little bit more of the CO2 that they're just desperately trying to soak up. And so I thought this would be a cool way that we could track some of this data, just be able to look back at it and see if some of our methods are more effective than others. So Matt, is there anything in particular you want to check right now? It looks like ambient CO2 right now is about 652 ppm. So that's part per million. We're testing in a bunch of different things, and so we've got a couple different.
Let's test this.
I'm assuming since you're panicking, that's a good read-in.
That's it. Oh, yeah. Once I start to run the other way, I
Watch
follow
this.
suit.
Now
Just
this is
making
the
sure,
mushroom
just making
chamber with
sure.
no air circulation.
So actually, if I put in the corner here, and go ahead and close that back up for a second, so we can get like a nice trap read. And I think if you bring the camera down here, you can actually come in and see the reading there.
Put this light on
And
too.
this is going to trap more of it, right? We did just open it, so some of it released, but not too much. And last time when we checked this, they kept crawling so much. These things are just powerhouses when it comes to releasing CO2. It's impressive. Does anybody have more specific information about CO2, like the gas itself, some of its properties? Is that somebody's niche? We're still learning about each other and some of our interests. So I don't know if someone's better at gas sciences. I have some experience, but...
Well, I mean, I know a few basics. So CO2 is heavier than air usually, so it coalesces at the bottom. Let's see, okay, kind of
Yeah,
getting
is it
weird,
lower
but,
at the bottom? I'm curious about that.
It shouldn't be. It should be.
It's supposed to be heavier. Yes, it's going up.
Exactly. So, yeah, so
That's
CO2,
cool.
like if you're in the basement,
Totally going up.
you're in trouble.
Keep going.
Right.
The CO2 accumulates.
Yeah,
downward,
it's heavy. Yeah.
Which is why I actually just I got the tent, which I got to move these guys over to. Last week we built the grow tent, but I got it pumping now, So you guys want to see it? Heck yeah, let's check it out.
I mean, yeah.
I'm gonna hand off this rig.
We're gonna check out the old mushroom room.
Here we go.
All right.
Back to
It
you.
was fun. Back to Matt. We're gonna go back through. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I got the verticals down. That's a sweet little rig you got, man.
Check it out. So I moved it. So this is just to show the airflow. Comes in through this HEPA filter and loops around into the tent and pours out right here. So I have the air flow. So it's going to push against this wall here and kind of circulate down. And this I'll turn on to add humidity, probably on a controller. So if the humidity dips below 80%, that'll kick on, add humidity.
Nice.
I might also even combine it with the fan, so if it's below that, like the fan cuts off, or lowers ideally. So the air should push down here and then push upward. And back here, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a hole up there with 12-inch ducting. And this was last week's episode, if you guys were watching, but we're using a fan with half the propellers broken, so when we turned it on, it sounded like we were all going to die, which we probably almost did. So it comes up through here, and then because CO2 is heavy, like we were mentioning, I'm putting the CO2 into this grow tent here, up at the top, and that way my beautiful citrus plants get plenty of CO2.
That's
They're
smart,
looking a little
bro.
pissed. I was
That's
seeing,
really smart.
it's so interesting. They're coming in a little deficient. So I added some magnesium and nitrogen. It's interesting how some of them, even though they're all set the same, look good. I'm seeing a little bit of this discoloration, which worries me. I don't know what's going on. This tree's growing, dropping leaves consistently. Anyone out there knows?
Aftermarket, secondhand.
Let me know.
Those things exist.
The pH is around
Like, oh,
6.5.
I had an idea too, right? We did this with the mushrooms, thinking about the properties of beer and as it goes through active fermentation, being able to use that same CO2. So it's like indicating stronger yeast strains, pitching a beer, and then just getting it to release and like having it just open air, so it's just releasing into it, possibly building enough pressure to have it go through an air stone. We talked last episode about the humidifier, so if it's a humidifier plus a CO2 release, it's a freaking beer battery, dude.
Sick.
Yeah, how cool would that
That is
be?
sick. And watch this, ready to see it's working. See how these tents, I turn the fan way up to really push, the visualization of it. And if you put your hand out here, you can feel the breeze coming out. HEPA filtration to the
What
mushroom.
size the tents are.
4x4s. They are 4x4s. So this is a tall 4x4 and a shorty 4x4. Honestly, that's because it's what we had sitting around. I kind of wish this was like a tall 2x4 looping in, maybe, or a 3x3. The shorties, there's no reason to use a shorty when you have a tall room, but it happened to be the tent we had sitting around. So I'm going to turn that off.
Use what you got, and I think a huge amount of this is just assembling systems that work.
And is there anything else we want to cover before we leave? Do people have any other questions that we want to talk
I
about?
want to know what size tents, what was the smaller one specifically?
Birthday cake.
Yeah, that's it.
I just realized I'm all like,
Manny's popping some eggs on here.
nice.
Loving it. These are fresh eggs.
Thanks, Mandy.
And now we're gonna look under the lens, eh?
Oh, that's right.
Did you forget we're taking the microscope to that beautiful tea?
I forgot.
Yeah, you got to see what you're going to be drinking once the video hits 100 views.
Oh, thanks. So I can't see what the camera can see. Let's see what's going on with
All right, JT, what are we looking at?
that. So I just popped the slide on here.
All right.
I see.
Should we flip to the microscope camera?
Yeah.
Is that hooked up? Yeah.
Should be.
Do you know the specific magnification you're going into?
40.
40, all right.
So, can you?
There we go. Yep.
Oh, nice. So we got some good chunks of organic stuff here.
Oh, looks like there's a little dirt on the lens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in the camera.
Oh.
It's oh, I guess it's inside the lens. It's hard to clean inside, and when you take this off, dust can get in, so that little speck in the middle is our dust speck.
Guys, can we take a quick break and switch to cameras? Because we have to sing happy birthday. Is it here, should we put it over here? Jeff, would you sit here by yourself weirdly?
I don't think I like this, and you're about a month late.
Sing?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, Skinamarink-doo.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh,
Mr.
God.
Commander.
Happy birthday to you.
Mr. Commander.
Happy birthday, dear Jeff Commander. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
Make a wish.
Oh!
I didn't know this.
Got him!
Oh boy.
You got 1 out of 5. You can keep going.
Oh no.
Look at you.
Oh, he knows. He
He's
knows
the guy.
the forbidden technique.
Oh wow, these are wow, these are quite aggressive.
I know, dude.
Yes.
There we go. We got it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Smoking.
Come on.
Oh! That's unfortunate because I wish that the video would get 100 views so you could have that beautiful tea.
Sean and Mandy both send you happy birthdays, Commander.
Oh, thank you very much.
Just it's been a while, but
Yeah, and your birthday's the exact same day as mine, so.
I'll blow out this camera.
But wait.
Same birthday.
What? Same birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like off by a day, isn't it?
No, we're both the 10th,
Well-
right?
Or both the 10th. Like,
Well, that's crazy because we got you a cake too.
Oh my God.
Let's wait. I love you.
All right.
All right, let's get back to some science.
You were right, Jeff. You were right.
No, keep the bin there.
It almost just fell. The bin.
Yeah, we gotta keep. No, that'll work too. But where was the little commander's?
Don't worry, Ocean's not here.
Yeah. Thank God, because we wouldn't be anymore.
All right, so what do we got? Do you
We
find
got a
anything?
blurry commander, and oh wait,
That's you. There
that's me.
Oh, wow.
Sick.
So what is that?
I don't know exactly. Oh, there we go. It is some sort of.
We're back on the microscope. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Oh, a little fun fact for everybody. Apparently, Commander married Matt and Mandy.
I did.
Whoa, polygamy.
And his
You want to tell?
father, my funny friend. Yeah, you want to tell him?
Yeah. So my dad has a little bar in his town that's like his Cheers. Everybody knows him, and he just loves being there. So we happened to be in the area when Matt asked me to officiate, so he asked me. I said sure, and he's like, "Hey, let's go grab a beer with Chip, my dad." And I was like, "Sure." So we take him to his place. Matt tells him what's going on, and my dad gets up. He's like, "Everybody,
No, I
everybody!"
actually made the joke first because I said to your dad, I said, Mr. Commander, I'm really sorry. I should have asked your permission before.
Oh, that's
your
right,
son
that's
married me. And I never asked your permission. He didn't even smile or laugh or.
Oh, he
respond.
laughed.
No, he didn't. He held it. And I was like, okay, I guess that joke didn't really land. And then the waitress came over. So rather than letting us know it landed, he said, hey, I want you to meet Matt. Jeff married him last summer.
No, it was before. It was before. It was because it was Matt just asked Jeff to marry him, and he said yes. Because because he did the exact same thing because he got remarried a few years later, and he asked me at the same bar, and I was like, of course I'll marry you. You know, you're my dad, of course. And he's like, everybody, I just asked my son to marry me, and he said yes.
Some real Chuck and Larry. I love that.
Oh yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, he's a funny guy, but
That's pretty good.
yeah, I think I've done like
Being a minister?
7. Yeah, I mean I've done.
And I married Jeff.
Yeah,
It's
he
20
did.
minutes online nowadays. I married my friend, so I feel you. It's
Oh, yeah.
About 20 minutes.
Who here hasn't done a wedding?
Who is ordained? Which of us is not ordained? I mean, come on, really.
I mean, I don't know that my ordination is up to date and all that, but
I only got ordained to trick my friends into getting married to each other.
Nice. That's a good move.
Move. That's power move.
Yeah.
Oh, blank screen.
Oh.
You are zoomed all the way in there.
Oh yeah.
So what are you seeing?
Some little protozoa.
These guys also have names. Can we turn them?
This is Laramie.
Meticulous trichocalis.
Laramie.
Laramie, Laramie.
Laramie.
And there's Laramie.
Is Garrett?
What are their little yellow dots? What do we got going on?
Those are bugs.
Can I show you something cool?
those are bugs.
Small microscopic ones.
Now, I'm just kind of curious on scale. Like, where would a tardigrade fit in this?
It'd be a little bit bigger than this, I'm pretty sure. There's a bunch of different species that are different sizes, but I'm pretty sure it would be rather large on this screen. This year, not this year, last year, one of the big awards in microscopy was awarded to a photo of a tardigrade riding a nematode,
Oh, that's
like
amazing.
a cowboy.
Oh, yeah, those things are just adorable. I don't know what it is about them, but.
See-
They have the proportions of roundness.
So we can see all these little
protective
little
shell.
black dots that are kind of wiggling around, and those are bacteria. We can't really get much closer to see them. You need like a very sophisticated microscope for that. 2-photon microscope or a scanning electron microscope. But the protozoa we can see pretty easily. Anything that's really symmetrical is probably protozoa. Oh,
So what makes a protozoa symmetrical? It's just like a body structure thing?
Yeah, so in nature, if it's alive, usually it grows symmetrically. But if it's just like a piece of organic matter that's like detritus or whatever, it's probably going to be asymmetrical. So it's a little bit easier to tell something that's a living creature versus something that's just like a piece of dirt.
So basically, like the broken pieces of living creatures, like broken cells, and
Yeah, and like minerals and stuff.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
What is that?
I think that's a diatom.
Now, for my edification, what is a diatom?
It seems to be some kind of spaceship.
What is
Yeah.
a diatom? It's what makes diatom. Whoa, that's a sick video. Like, that's so three-dimensional.
That is great.
Great catch. Great, like,
We could get some diatomaceous earth and like, it'd be interesting to see. Do you have diatomaceous earth?
I have a bunch in my place. I was using it for it's very good for insects. 'Cause
Yeah.
You have you can set up like a perimeter, and it gets into the cracks between their exoskeletons and just irritates, and
Yeah.
they hate it.
They're these little sharp pieces of basically, well, diatomaceous earth is fossilized, those guys that we just saw, and it's basically little shards of glass.
Little
at this
crunch
point.
shells.
Yeah. Let's see. Not seeing any like nematodes or anything.
JT, can you turn the light up on that thing?
Yeah.
Dude, we got to bring back the microscope green screen. That was like peak.
Oops.
There was a weird little critter I just saw.
Oh no, that's Jeff.
Oh. Poor Jeff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
But Flanagan's birthday. Oh.
That's why I can get away with it.
That is-
Almost made the month, bro. Almost made the month. That's like we're adults now, if it's within the month, but we're before the 10th.
That's true. So within 30 days. Within 30 days.
Now we gotta go like over the top to celebrate your birthday in some way to make up for it.
You gotta do it.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'll let you figure that out, Jeff.
Oh, God.
A birthday cake.
Yes.
Quick.
Quick.
Right there.
We need candles.
Oh, look at this guy. Looks like a big toe.
All right, so
Oh, you're right.
all right, what are the little?
So those are bacteria, the little tiny dots that are like zigzagging around. See how they're like vibrating?
Yeah. Now, is the picture like? Is it the camera? Is it the microscope? You know, like.
It's the software. Well, a little bit of the camera, a little bit of the software. So if you use like the microscope software, you can.
I think we put it on the computer.
Oh, yeah, you can adjust like the saturation and stuff manually on the computer.
Oh, we're doing that already too. Oh,
What is that?
It's
yeah.
Dolly. Oh yeah, ask Dolly to make a cool microscope slide.
you can no longer see.
I got it here.
Oh, I just realized I was standing in front of the camera, wasn't it?
Type into Dolly to make a cool microscope slide.
Yeah, big.
Matt, what would you like to look at under the microscope?
Ooh,
Like
that. I want to see the coolest thing you can show me.
that's the moon.
Show me what worms eat. I want to see what a worm would be like. That's lunch to me. That's when I'm going to put through my intestine of a body, of an existent. Like, they're basically like intestines
Yeah.
that just move through the soil.
Whoa, that's you blowing my mind there a little bit, bud.
That kind of is what they are, right? I mean, or basically more so, we are worms
With like
with robotics attached.
right, like a mecha.
We are like a
Exosuit.
robot version of it. And we walk around and put stuff through our worm. Like, where's those Reese's peanut butter cups? This worm wants to eat one. This worm's got eyes and a brain to get stuff.
Just don't end up smelling like the bottom of the worm bin.
That's
Oh,
when you
it
die.
will.
That's what this morning I ate. I did an unhealthy diet. Smelled like the bomb worm bin. Smelled like it wasn't healthy.
Can't take you anywhere, Matt.
So.
Want to get some stuff out of like a fish filter?
Yep. What about the black worm container?
Oh, that'd be cool.
This episode's about worms.
Worms.
I don't know if anybody can still do the.
Hey, you can do the worm.
I could probably do the worm.
I think
I will.
This smells so
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh fuck, dude.
Just messing with you.
You got me over the PG-13 with that F-bomb just because of that, bro.
No F-bombs, guys.
Nope.
No.
PG-13. You know what's fine?
Mm.
Are there black worms anymore in here, JT?
Yep, there's also a lot of drain flies.
Yeah, why?
It's not, there's nothing stopping them.
Checks out.
So what do we do with this situation?
Uh,
Is this going well or not well?
this probably could use a water change.
Are you supposed to do water changes? Did you tell me that?
Oh, this was the bubbly boy over there.
Okay, so we do a water change.
What'd you call Matt?
The bubbly boy over there.
That was me.
Nice.
That was my nickname. So this would probably be like worm tea then.
Pretty much, yeah, that's all like the waste.
So I should give them a water change?
I do like a half water change maybe.
Okay. So let's compare then. Can we get another pitcher for this worm juice? You want to grab one off that cart right there?
Matt, are you wearing a original microphone underneath. I feel like did you put the shirt on without taking the mic off?
No, there's another mic somewhere, right? Oh, it's right there.
Oh, it is. Okay.
I could have.
Here it is. Grab that.
That's why I'm so loud.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Oh no, lost the
I
conversation.
squished a guy.
Splish splash. So are you holding that for fun?
I don't know. I thought you were gonna get a picture for me. Yeah.
There's a picture right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. All right, ready? I'm gonna pour it in.
In the picture? Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
you were pouring it in the.
We're gonna do a partial water change. How much? Is that good, JT?
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm
You
gonna
might
add.
wanna, keep some of that because there's probably worms in it.
Okay, I'm gonna add some fresh water into this guy. Put him back in here.
I was wondering what was going on with this over here.
Grab another pitcher.
A little aeration of.
Fresh water.
I guess this is like a simulated pond. Is what's happening here.
Yep. Some fresh water.
Yeah, I'm not sure what just changed.
And so these guys reproduce by being split into pieces.
How's thriving?
I was originally going for the ASMR experience, except this mic is like on me. It does not want to like that one.
Oh. That's beautiful.
Where's my mute button? I'm having technical difficulty. You don't like that? He said nope. All right, here we go. Ready? Little bubbler ASMR. I fell asleep to this. Don't fall asleep though.
It is really dark, huh?
We did it.
Well, that's me. Is the microscope on the screen?
Yep. You just gotta turn it on.
Yeah, the lights almost. Oh, you can see the light back there.
Oh. Gonna have to wear a hat now. You're on out.
That's pretty amazing.
It's like the internal ecosystem within the creature.
Yes.
That's what I've always found fascinating about microorganisms when they get to like a certain scale. Like they are an environment in and of themselves, as are we. But like, it blows my mind.
It's kind of cool how we can see them in 2 dimensions, so we can see through them.
Yeah.
Like if we were that size, we would just see it like on its outside. But it'd be like you looking at me and seeing all my guts at the same time.
So that's a really good point. The idea of the spectrum that your eyes pick up. Because if you have a really tiny eye, the spectrum is completely different compared to like our current irises, which is why you have the James Webb Telescope recently. I guess recently, that's what 3-5 years ago now, but. It lets you see to a whole, different spectrum. And that's really the reason is lower wavelength EM emissions end up going more easily penetrating surfaces.
That just was wicked.
Yeah. This is probably too much information.
Mouth is red.
It's like some hand-wringing stuff.
JT, what did you do to that thing?
I squished him with a piece of glass. Let's look at one that's not squished.
It's good reason to be mad.
Whoa.
Got worms. Worm achieved.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. I mean, that counts, right?
It's a nematode.
It's okay. Tell me about what is the difference between a nematode and a worm? Because that is killing me right now.
What's
So
the
a
difference
worm's a
between,
general term
cichlid
for a
fish?
body shape, but if you use it as like a description of an animal, it's usually used for earthworms.
Okay.
So like nematodes have a worm body shape, but usually if you're saying that's a worm, you're talking about earthworms.
Just
So
like how fish are generic fish shaped,
Yeah, like
but they're not related.
you don't call sharks
necessarily.
fish usually though.
Right.
Fair.
Well, although no, fish is a technical term though.
Yeah.
Fish
But
is
it's
a,
not like a genre or a species or a family.
but it
It's
is,
an experience.
isn't it?
No.
Fish?
Fish or trees.
Wait,
But so, like,
I'm looking this up.
Physiologically, they're similar, but I'm assuming that earthworms have a order of magnitude more complexity behind them, like internally.
Dude, fish is a group in the animals, isn't it?
I feel like nematode is like
Is fish a
from
class?
my prior bio classes anyway. That would have to be a simpler organism compared to something like an earthworm.
I'm sorry, I got distracted.
So I'm talking about the complexity of the internal structure
Yep.
of a nematode versus like an earthworm.
Oh yeah, I think it's a little bit more. It's a nematode's less complex. Do you see this little?
What?
this one, right?
It's like a shrimp. Does he have little
It's got a little
legs?
little red eye.
Great catch. Bringing it back one of them.
I think the red spot is the eye.
Like up front?
I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, dude, bro, he's got he's got. Was that?
Sean said praying mantis babies.
Nice.
I think they might be too small for that, wouldn't they?
I'm not sure how long ago that was. We just got there.
Oh, fair enough. I don't know, I have a hard time with the scale here.
Oh, you're telling me.
Well, all you have to know is we're using the short one right now, so everything you see is huge.
Yeah, this is it.
Absolutely massive.
40x.
It's all about that descent gradient
Dude, you're so right, JT.
strategy.
There's three groups, there's three classes of fish. Damn. But I used to be right, and I was like, did it used to be just one class for fish? And they were like, yes, but it was like 1800.
Matt, take me to fish class. What are the classes of fish? He goes back. Yes.
Jawless fish, class Agnatha.
Jawless fish. That's a category.
Lampreys and
Cartilaginous.
cartilaginous? Yeah, I think it's cartilaginous.
I mean-
JT, cartilaginous fish?
They both
Yep.
sound great.
Like sharks.
Chondrichthyes. You know what? I'm going to have it read it. This is, can you tell me the three classes of fish? There's three classes of fish.
3 classes of fish.
Should I have it read to us?
Oh wait, I gotta get it. So the jawless fish,
Am I screwing up the shot totally? Or?
cartilaginous fish, and bony fish.
Wait, we can have it say it, should we? Or
I mean, I'm not about to pronounce.
you're really presenting this in a way that might not sound great. It's like bullets and stuff.
Chondrichthyes, number 2.
Based on anatomy and evolutionary traits.
So the jawless.
Oh no!
boy.
Oh gosh! Okay,
Abort.
that was bad. I had to shut that down. That was terrible. Sorry. Echo. I forgot that. I guess that's playing on this. Yep. Has his FaceTime. So what else are we seeing? All right. So should we? You guys want to wrap up for the night, or anything else going on?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered all the major points.
It's 9:30. Anything
And
we
we've,
want to see out there?
Yeah, we've puttered around for a while, and
Ooh.
Any last minute worm info? What are our big takeaways? That's what I want to know.
Big takeaways is this little worm.
The worm?
Yeah. What are we seeing on the worm?
Worm cam?
My big takeaway is that worm bins smell terrible.
No, only if they're dying.
Right,
Only if they, oh,
That was
okay.
going to be my
My big
is
takeaway.
If your worm bin smells terrible, then you're doing something wrong and you should fix it.
Okay, because I couldn't stay back there for the whole
No,
explanation.
dude, that was a bot thing, man. But that wasn't the worm bin. That was the thing. That was the little
Nice.
soldier fly jar.
Nice.
No, this was before
He
the
will.
soldier fly jar. Even
All right,
the
let's
worm
switch.
bin was.
Let's switch over on and say goodnight to everyone. I
Absolutely.
think it's been wonderful. Oh, I can't see what we're looking at. I guess are we? Oh, we are. I'm so sorry. You used to be over here. Thank you.
There we are.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, my big takeaway I want to summarize because I want to tell you guys what I'm going to do with this. So we got worms in here, and I'm going to feed them a cup of bird crumble with probably a liter of water.
What's a bird crumble?
Chicken crumble, chicken feed.
Chicken feed.
Egg layer feed. I did notice after adding lime, they seem to be doing a lot better. So I think I want to see how they'll do on chicken crumble and water because I think if you go home and like sometimes your food scraps can vary like mine, right? Like one week you eat a lot of
Tacos.
This is smart. I
tacos.
like
Another
this a
week
lot.
you did have a lot of old avocados. And like to really dial it in, I'm going to do the chicken crumble and water with equal amount of cardboard and paper.
So here's just a thought on that, right? So single sourcing your like food stream, so you have got multiple animals. I really like this from an efficiency purpose. So let's say you're feeding your chickens chicken crumble,
Yeah.
and then you're feeding some worms some chicken crumble, and then you're feeding the chickens the worms that you fed the chicken crumble. There's like an extra layer of processing, which is integrating like
100%,
different nutrients from the soil,
right?
And also because you're using the same thing as a primary feed.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds
I
like
mean,
a great setup.
in the
I hope it
reptile
works.
world, they call it gut loading, and this is like the ultimate version of it. Like you feed the animals highly nutritious food before, like the grubs and stuff, before feeding them on. So yeah, we are like super gut loading, and you know, I just want to get a recipe down like that's like stable and shareable. So yeah, other than that, guys, until next week, thank you so much for joining. Happy birthday to these two.
Thank you, everybody.
Jeff turned 83.
Yes.
That's why I had the candles. All the candles.
All right, bye guys. Good night.
Matt, you're a whole month younger than me.
I'm a month younger. I'm about to be 83.
Oh wait, we need the air horn.
Oh, pew pew pew.
Oh yeah. Air horn button.
Critical.
Yes. Good night, everyone.
Yep.
And then you can just hit.
Till next week.